again. Well, it's time to pull out the big guns. This is our 6-pound barrel. It goes on the QT66 from Lortone. Again, the inside is similar shape to that of the 45C. We've got 2 of these bad boys. Oh my gosh, what are we gonna put in it? Yellow Jasper. So this is 5 pounds, and as you can see, we've got little tiny fragments or chips, and then we've got some pretty nice examples here, pretty nice sizes. We've got a good mix, so this is going to help moving the grid along. And I just wonder how ground down some of these tiny pieces are going to get. That's nice already. Yellow Jasper. Oof, love it. Look at the banding on that. Okay, let's see how much of this is going to fit into our barrel. I'm going to get the hang of where this camera is yet. Look at that. Oof. Beautiful. So just because this is a 6-pound barrel does not mean it's necessarily going to hold 5 pounds of rocks, because we only want to go 2/3 full, and what we want to really make sure, because of the shape of the rough stone, we don't want to overfill so it doesn't have any movement. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we'll have some left over for another one. Alright, 6-pound barrel, 6 tablespoons of coarse grit. Do we want 7? There's a lot of sharp edges on here and a lot of thin pieces. I really don't want them to grind to nothing. We'll leave it at 6. Worst thing that happens is we need to add more. Away. We don't want any cross-contamination. Now let's get some baking soda. And I'm still only going to put 1 in here. And hopefully the barrels won't burp. If they do, I'll know next time to put in more. So now we need water. And we're going to put the water in just to cover the bottom portion of the top layer of rocks. I'm sure you're all tired of hearing about that. But repetition is good for memory, or so they claim. These are going to be so pretty. Okay, that's good enough. Let's put the water away. I'm really excited. I don't know, do we need more water? What do you think? Well, I'm going to water myself, I guess. There. Okay. Okay, yellow Jasper. Kind of looks like yellow paint. This is a really thin slurry. So I'm seeing a lot of stones here, little chips. But again, it's super smooth. So 1 week has been doing really well. There's a lot going on in here. It's definitely going to need another week or two. One Coarse. Ooh, look at all that. Let's see all that. I'll try to zoom. We're getting a good look here on the zoom. 1 week in course. Okay. So what we're going to do is wash all these off, give them a good rinse the barrels. Okay, we are back with our yellow Jasper. It has had 1 week in course, and now we're going to take a good look at it before we put it back in for its 2nd week in course. So we have some lovely pieces here. Let's get the camera right where we need it. So you can see that the edges are smoothing, but there's still little pieces here that need to be smoothed out. No major problems. So things like this are going to take a little longer, these crevices. This is a little chip that came off, but again, it's going back in course, it doesn't matter. This is really interesting. This almost looks like it's paint. Look at that. Oh, it's inside that other stone. Wow. This has got some big places here that grit can congregate and make some problems, so back it goes. Nothing in here is going to be ready to move on to medium, so we're not going to have to worry about that, but we're just taking some looks, see how these things are rolling, see if they're getting, you know, pretty beat up. We have a lot of little small chips that we're going to take out. We don't want to grind them to nothing, and I have another project I can use those for. Ooh, look at the lines on that. Excuse me. Let me get that. Oh, this is just really up. Leaf from outside. I want to make sure none of that goes into the barrel. This is interesting. Wondering if that's going to come off in the next round of course. Yeah, so we're going to go through the rest of these, look for any major problems, pull out the little stones, and we'll be back with the next barrel. Hi. So we've got little stone chips that we're going to use for another project with essential oils. Then we have problem children, which we don't know what we're going to do with, but we don't want to put them back in course. There's just too many issues with them, and I don't want to do anything with them just yet. So I'm going to set these aside for another future date. Over here, we have some that are ready for medium. And this is getting really smooth. And medium will take out these tiny blemishes. So I'm very interested to see what happens with this. And then we have our barrel to get ready to put back in for more coarse. Already layered it in. We've got, you know, some ceramic media in there to help cushion it, but there's these really rough, jagged, sharp edges that we're just going to grind off. So a few more days, I think. A few more days. So I'm going to put another 60-90 grit in here because it's going to go through another whole week in course. Okay, we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, we're back to our yellow Jasper. It has been in course 60-90 for 2 weeks, and we're going to take a peek at it and we're going to see how it's doing here. So it's starting to dry a little bit. It's rather hot today. This is it looks like a crevice. It's not that deep, but there's a lot of breakage on this one. Not sure what's going to happen, if this is going to break down or not. But we're going to find out. So it looks like the yellow Jasper is not moving quite as good as the Kambaba. You can see there's deeper pits. There's more shaping that needs to be done. Lots of crevices. I mean, it's really a nifty shape there. There's a lot that needs to be worked, so definitely going in for a 3rd week. Yeah, definitely going in for a 3rd week. Okay, I'm gonna move through these rather quickly. See, this might even go for 4 weeks, but we'll see if next week there's a lot of improvement. So for the 2 weeks it's been in, see, it's just not as smooth as the Kambaba Jasper was. It's just because it's Jasper doesn't mean it's going to move along at the same pace. As we saw with the Serape and the Kambaba, it's completely two different, and now the yellow Jasper, again, completely different. Some smooth spots, but yeah. Okay, so we're going to get this prepared. Now, as you can see, we have a lot. This is in our 6-pound barrel. We have some interesting pieces. This one is very pitted. I don't hold out a lot of hope for this particular stone. These microfine pits on the side. But other pieces are fine. It almost looks like paint coming off, doesn't it? That's really interesting. Wow, look at the pattern on that one. Ooh, busy. Yeah, there's a lot of shaping that still needs to be done. Through these really quickly because we already know it's going back in 60-90. Look at that. So I'm going to check the chips and move this into another week of course. Alrighty. Yellow Jasper. The slurry is still kind of yellow, a lot thinner. Whoop. some chipping. Same chips happen here. This slurry is really hanging on. I have to get a sponge or a toothbrush. Clean that up. See? Here's all the stuff we don't want in our drainage systems. Let's pick up these. Little tiny pieces of ceramic media. And then do a really good thorough rinse. Whoops, didn't mean to splash that. Good grief. Slurry just feels like almost soap. It's very smooth. Some of this media is still a little yellow tinged. That's going to finally go through a wash cycle. Go away. Back to white. Okay, so this is running pretty clear. So let's just leave this. Rinsed off. We'll take a closer look at these when we do an inspection. All right, yellow Jasper. It's getting a little more humid, so things are drying out really quickly here. Need to keep them wet so that we don't have grit issues that turns into cement. Oh, this feels so smooth, so lovely. Wish we had feel-o-vision. I know I say that all the time. Still needs more coarse work. There's, a little catch there. There's a pit here. And needs more shaping. So we're looking for big problems. Cracked, stones that have cracked in half, super sharp edges. This is just the stone. It has a natural pit that something needs to happen. This one will catch. See that? We'll catch grit if we're not careful. Okay, we're going to just do a super quick inspection. Trying to keep these videos short. That is a super neat shape. Look at that. That is really just nifty. If it wasn't for this section here and down here, I'd say it was ready to go to medium. But I don't think I'm going to hold anything back. I mean, this one possibly. This one absolutely could go to medium. But when you start separating batches, it's necessary to split batches sometimes. I just don't really think this is ready. It's like each stone has a little tiny something or multiple somethings. This one just is super rough. So we're going to have to be really careful with that. Sorry about the TV in the background. Hubby's home. This is really neat. Like a little shelf. Okay, so we're going to inspect this. See, that's still grit. That was still grit that's on that. Yeah, it's going back into coarse, so that's all right. We're gonna just quickly go through. We're gonna look for chips in the ceramic media. Any that we find, we're gonna pull out, and then just don't want that grit to dry, cause problems. Like this one's starting to. Okay, all of this can go back in the barrel. See? I wonder if this super tiny little piece is going to make it through another week in course. We're going to find out. Whoops, there was a chip. Can you see that chip? That's what needs to come out. Okay, we're gonna do this off camera so we can shorten this video a little. Okay, we're back with a barrel of yellow Jasper that we combined with the Serape Jasper, both a hardness of 7. So it's fine to combine the barrels, but because we had lost so much mass, we were able to combine these two barrels into one. So they're both been in coarse grit since August 8th, and today's 9/19. And I think, you know, we've been able to split this yellow Jasper batch for things that were already ready for medium. And I think we are getting a lot more that are also ready for medium. This one, however, appears to not be ready. So that will go back in course for another week. We'll make separate piles. Okay. There is more work to be done. Pretty much you can do this by feel. I can go to medium. I think I got 2 pieces that can go on to medium. That still needs work. Now you see the quartz in there. Isn't that really cool? It's like there's something hiding in there wanting to be discovered. This one's actually ready. No, spoke too soon. I'm being super picky. A lot of people would probably let these go through. And that's got a rough edge there. Yeah, it's got a rough edge. It's like as soon as you feel the rough edges, you know it's going to do another week in course. Ooh, that's not happening yet. Now we split this batch, which caused a lot more room in the barrel, and that's why we put the syrupate, we combined it. But over the last 2 weeks, this is what we pulled out, ready to go on to medium. So we have this little pile started, which is going to need another bag this week, bigger bag. And we're just keeping them separated until everything's ready to go together to the next stage. No. Huh. Nope. I mean, if you're gonna run another batch, you might as well get it perfect, right? I do like the patterns on these. You can see that could catch grit. No, that's a grit catcher. That's whole bottom is nasty. That might just become crushed rock. Let me know in the comments below how many of you wait for perfection or how many of you lose patience and move forward, still leaving the natural imperfections. Let me know your thoughts. I'm always curious to see what other people think. Hope I'm not going too fast for the newbies out there. But, you know, after a couple of weeks of doing inspections, you get a real good feel for what you personally want to move forward. It's a chip. And what you want to hold back. No. See, when I rolled it over, I saw this, and I just knew that's not ready to move forward. So there's no reason to inspect the rest of the stone. Once you find a part that's not good, why continue? Oh, this was perfect. That one is ready to move on to medium. Just to smooth out these little surface scratches from the grit. That one feels awful. Sometimes a stone is just bust and there's nothing you can do about it. And by bust, I mean it's full of pits that are never ever gonna come out. It has that rough, sandy feel that after 6 weeks is still there. Most of them coming along quite nicely. Now, this I would not hold back, even though it's kind of like a divot, but there's no way for that to catch any grit and it won't damage. That's just a natural marking in the stone. Like down here, like you see that shape. If we waited for that to be perfectly rounded, there'd be nothing left of the stone. And it feels perfectly smooth. There's no rough spot to it at all. So that's definitely going to medium. Same with this one. There's nothing rough there. Oh, a couple little tiny spots. So as you can see, when you start separating down, the barrels get smaller and smaller. And you can start combining the barrels. And then when you combine the barrels, you free one up and you get to run new stuff. And we always like to start new stuff because we quickly become addicted. And you know, if I've got to be addicted to something, I'd rather it be rocks than anything else. Ooh, that's nifty. Not sure that's going to survive another week in course, but we're going to find out. This was fine last week. I was trying to, let's see, a little chip. That will scratch up an entire batch. Yeah. Look at how deep this druzy hole is. I don't know what it's called. Look how deep that hole is. It's like a little cave. I don't know what we're going to do with that. At some point that one just might have to go forward or be pitched. I don't know. Ooh, see all that rough stuff here? Back and coarse. Back and coarse. 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 Okay, I'm not seeing any chips so far in this ceramic media that we pulled out. So that's good. We have a lot more in here. We also have water. So I'm going to finish going through this and then I'm going to restart this barrel and back in course. And these ones are here, we're going to set aside. Look at that, isn't it neat? We're going to set these aside for the medium run. We're getting more. It's getting closer. Okay, we'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright, we're back with our yellow Jasper and our Serape Jasper. That we combined those two barrels because they are both Jasper's Mohs Hardness 7. And, you know, there wasn't enough material to run on its own. So we had a big 6-pound barrel that we needed to fill, so we were able to combine these two, which was great because it lets us open up something else. But, now we need to see where we're going because this has been forever. I mean, this has been in 6090 grit since August 8th. So that has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6 full weeks. Today's September 27th. It's been 6 full weeks in course, and let's see where we're at. So we're going to start with this little yellow Jasper, and you see how the druzy crystal, or the crystals that were in here, came out, and now we have this hole. It's quite deep, so this is, I don't know what to do with that. It's got a little chippage here, and as you can see, a piece of the ceramic media got stuck in the hole. So we need to get it out. Let me go flying. Let's get it out here. Oof. Well, we're going to set this aside and do it off camera. And as you can see, a piece of the small ceramic media was able to embed itself in that rock I just dropped. Was able to embed itself in here pretty well. Yeah, we're going to do this off camera to get that out of there. It's going to take far too much time. As you can see, it got in there quite well. And there's another pocket opened up. So I just think that this piece will end up being a garden stone. I don't think we're going to move forward with this one. Now we have yellow jasper, which is also in that barrel. This feels so smooth. I think this one's ready to go to medium. So as you remember from previous videos, we have this yellow jasper chips, and it also has Kambaba jasper chips in it, for little pieces that break off like these. So we know we've got some damage in the barrel this week. There's some more. There's going to be a lot of yellow jasper damage. For some reason, the Serape jasper is like not damaging at all. Okay, let's take these, add them to our little bag. If it would stop zipping up on me. Let's see how many more we have. Probably a lot. So something interesting, while we're looking at all this, look at this small ceramic media. See how it's losing, it's cracking, and it's losing its mass. I think what we need to do is take all these ones that have cracked and throw them out. I think they've, done their purpose, and I think that they could just cause, they're like little chips. If this, went anywhere besides coarse grit, it could really cause problems. So we just need to make sure we get rid of that. Here's another chip. So that's kind of side note on ceramic media. It tends to round, which is great, so it doesn't cause damage or bruising. But these little tiny, the small ones are starting to split in half, and those we just have to get rid of. These are still good to use. So this is going to be fun. This is the only barrel I've really seen do this so far. So this ceramic media has been there all these weeks, and it's just wearing down. So here's a medium. No, excuse me, stays in coarse. Stays in coarse. See, we lost so how far down that goes. It's just a grit catcher. Oh, that's interesting. Check that out. If it wasn't for this and this, it would be ready to move forward to medium. Boy, these are really turning out lovely. See, here's where the chips came off. So this definitely needs to go back into coarse to smooth that out. Hitting the light. Looks perfect. Looks perfect. Uh-oh, can't go. No, that needs work. These are really, 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 really close. I'm not going to predict. I'm just going to hope that by next week this will be ready to move to medium and finally leave the coarse stage. So on here, you see how there's this lighter quartz seam? It's starting to work its way out. Now we're getting like a little druzy tunnel. We'll see how bad it gets next week. Oh, I always liked this one. But right here, oh, I might move that to medium. Nope, I'm not gonna. Because I'll be sorry if I do. It'll just catch grit and then ruin the rest of the pile. Super close, just right here. Yeah, looks like that whole seam's gonna come out. This one's got issues. Ooh. No, it just looks like a fracture line, but it's not. It's just patterning. It does have a hole here and here and here. Medium. Or not medium, coarse. Coarse. I mean, these are dry. Look at it, and look at how smooth and pretty, and they've got like a matte sheen. I wonder if I can move that to medium. No, we're just gonna let it get perfect. The yellow Jaspers are doing quite nicely. This one can move on. See, there's just these little tiny imperfections. And the yellow Jasper's been running also since August 8th, and today's, what, October 4th? It looks like a chip just came out of it. But I'm wondering if medium would fix these little bits. And we're going to put it to medium because we're going to experiment with it. And we're going to see just how much medium will fix imperfections. I don't know. There's a little spot there. I mean, these things are just so close to being beautiful. So the worst thing that can happen is I put it in medium and it doesn't do the job, and then I take it back a stage. This one's just a problem child. That's just problem. Some indent. Yeah, and there's that. The rest of the stone's really beautiful. Yellow Jasper. We've been taking pieces out as they get ready. That some of this yellow Jasper had a little bit of quartz in it, and the quartz, it has been working its way out and leaving crevices like this one. So we're trying to smooth down those crevices a bit. We may have to pull it out and do something else with it. I do believe the dogs see a rabbit. So inside they can stay. Let them bark. They can't hurt the rabbit by barking. Yeah, see, this is all still rough. So a lot of the yellow, it's still rough. Very disheartening. That looks like a chip came out of it. I'll have to take a look at the ceramic media and see if we have any chips. Oh, I think this yellow's ready to go to medium. Hooray! Yellow Jasper. Oh, sorry about that. I keep hitting that cord on the camera. It's got a little bit right there. I'm hoping medium will smooth that out. Oof, this could become a major problem. Make this a garden stone. And I think I'm just going to put it in for garden stone right now while we still have a lot of the pretty crystal still inside. Garden stone it is. All right, I'm going to finish going through this off camera. Finish splitting this barrel down, but for what can go on to 500 pre-polish, and what needs to stay in 120 medium grit. There's still quite a bit to go through here. Okay, we'll be back with the next barrel shortly. That's really pretty. Okay, be back shortly. And we're back with our mixed barrel, all in 500, obviously. But we've got Botswana agate, and we've got a bunch of mixed Jaspers. And I gotta tell ya, I can't lie, this is a really pretty barrel. It's a really super cool. There's a lot of neat stuff in it. So let's move on to our yellow Jasper. Yellow Jasper. Isn't it lovely? I like this one because it's got a little bit of other stuff going on in there. Look how smooth it is. This is dry. This is not wet. And spending 1 week in 500, you can see how it's getting a tiny bit of a shine. So next week, after it's been a week in 1000, it's going to start looking really good and then be ready for our polish. Wow. This is super cool. I like the patterns. Again, I like the patterns in all rocks. This one's nifty. I do, however, not like this corner. I think that's a contender for the flat lap experiments. Oh, that still has slurry on it. Okay. Wow, these are really neat. Not having to pull anything out so far. It's a really full barrel too. Don't like that one. See, I spoke too soon. Wow. Oh, look at these tiny little. I think what I'm going to do with these, stick them in the Zen garden. I've got so many really nice larger pieces. I'd like to take these little babies and put them in the Zen garden. It's really growing, that little project. Look at that. Holy cow. Definitely ready to move forward. Look at this one. It's really dark. Alright, I think it's fair to say that the rest of this yellow Jasper is ready to move forward. So we'll throw it in the barrel, put it in for wash. Okay, all but one piece. So what was the deal with this one piece? Right there, that one little pit. I think we'll just repair that. Oops. And we're back with our mixed Jaspers and our 1000 aluminum oxide superfine pre-polish. As you can see, we've got a lot in this barrel. We have our yellow Jaspers, that one piece of red Jasper that we were putting in here. And then we've got our Serape Jasper, Kambaba, which is also called Crocodile. And then we've got our Desert Jasper, which is also called Polychrome. And then we've got our brown zebra Jasper, which is also called brown Jasper or chocolate. And then we have our Botswana agate with a few pieces of carnelian that we discovered along the way. This is a really busy barrel. Our yellow Jasper also has spent a week in the mixed barrel for the 1000 grit. And look at the shine on this. And it's only been in the pre-polish. Whew. Can't wait to see the shine after it's been in, you know, actual polish. Oops, sorry about that. I love that this little tip stayed on through the whole way. It's really kind of cool. Okay, yellow Jasper. That's neat. Kind of a little dragon. Boy, that's a great pattern on a yellow Jasper. I think we're going to have just some gorgeous polish on this based on the polish shine we're already seeing. Yep, it's a lovely. Very, very pretty yellow Jasper. Very, very pretty. Okay, it's definitely ready to move into polish. Oh, next week is going to be so awesome. We're going to have so much stuff coming in polish. Oh, fantastic. Okay, let's take a look at our desert Jasper. And we're back with our last barrel for this week. It is a mixed Jaspers and Botswana agate. And it's in polish for 1 week. So we are going to just drop a few pieces in here. Here's a piece of the yellow Jasper. Really nice high shine. Amazing. There's a lot in this barrel. A lot in this barrel. Look at the pattern in that yellow Jasper. Let's see if we can get a zoom on that. Whew. Very pretty. That's one of the yellow Jaspers. Again, these haven't been rinsed off all that well. Let's see what else we can find in here. Oops. Isn't that a pretty piece of chocolate Jasper? Zebra, chocolate, pick a name. It's a thinner piece. Really pretty. And this great big polychrome. I need a drier piece of paper towel. Hang on. And here's another big piece of polychrome or desert Jasper. Really pretty. Our mixed barrel. Lots of little lovelies in it. Lots of pretty colors, lots of pretty designs. Boy, that serape turned out amazing. These lovely agates. Carnelian pieces. Oh, polychromes, the yellow, the zebras. Oh, really pretty. Really, really pretty. Okay, I'm going to get these rinsed off and we'll see you next week. Be safe, be happy, be well. Hi guys, we're back. I just wanted to give you a tiny little update on our mixed Jasper barrel. We did end up putting it in polish for 1 more week because we found this when we were cleaning them And this is a broken piece, and this came off of it. So this kind of damaged the surface on some of the stones a little bit. They weren't quite as shiny as I had anticipated, although they looked pretty good. I've just decided we're going to run it one more week in polish and see if that makes a difference. And this poor little baby is going to go back. I mean, this chip will go in the chip bag, and this will go back for a 60-90 run the next time we do Jaspers. Poor little guy got broken. So even in polish, it can happen. So we need to, you always need to be careful. And if something's not looking right, there's usually a reason. And we found it. So, okay. So we'll actually see those stones again next week. And hopefully there'll be some improvement. Okay. See ya. Bye. Welcome back to Crystal Wellness Studios. Today is March 26th, and we are starting with our polish barrel. Look at the foam on that. This is a barrel of mixed Jaspers, but we've been running at different stages, and now we're trying to catch up. Let's see what we've got here. Some water, get our paper towel. And let's see the condition of some of these stones. Now these are yellow Jasper. There's a whole bunch of different ones in here, but this is a yellow. Oh, nice shine. Wow. That's what I like about Jaspers. They just take like a glass-like shine. They're so beautiful. For the most part, they're rather easy to run. They're a good beginner's tumbling stone. So yeah. Ooh. Really pretty. Okay, let's see what else is in here. Let's see. Burnish cycle is just a tablespoon of borax and some water, and you let it run for several hours. Won't hurt it to run for a full day. Oh, these are mostly yellows. Yeah. And then, you rinse it off and you're done. So that's what we will do with these. We'll put these in a burnish cycle. Look at that quartz vein in there. Isn't that? Let's see. You see the top here. It's perfectly smooth, but you can see down into the quartz, into the stone. That is so cool. So cool. Yep, I'm going to go rinse these off, and then we'll get a picture before it goes into burnish. you.